All right, thanks for joining today, everybody. This is Dan Lyons at the National Weather Service office in Raleigh, and we're going to go through the routine weekly briefing for Central North Carolina. This briefing is going to cover the period from today, February 22nd, all the way out through Sunday, the last day of February, February 28th. Actually got a pretty busy period of weather here in the very short term. If you had an opportunity to enjoy the quiet, sunny weather over the weekend, I certainly hope you did, because it's going to come to a screeching halt here within the next few hours or so. Let's take a look overall at the upcoming weather pattern for the next week or so. I said today was going to be a little bit busy, and that is true. We do have a weak trough moving through the area today. It's actually already starting to move through the western part of North Carolina. It may be dry out across the area right now, but within the next few hours or so, we will see some showers develop across the area as that trough moves through. We're even going to see a chance of a few thunderstorms, mainly east of US 1. That's probably the best geographic delineator to draw out where those thunderstorms may be. And we even have a marginal risk for severe weather east of I-95 later this afternoon. We'll go into that in a little bit more detail here in a minute. Once this trough moves through tonight, things will dry out. We could see a little bit of fog this evening and overnight. And that could be anywhere. There's no real favored area for that. That could be pretty much across all of central North Carolina. However, we are looking at dry weather for much of this week. Really, the Tuesday to Thursday period are just going to be sunny, dry. We're going to see temperatures warm up into the mid-60s, even getting close to 70 in some spots across the Sandhills and southern coastal plain. So it's going to be a dramatic departure from what we've seen as of late. We should see some rain chances return by the time we get to Friday, maybe Friday afternoon. And then into the weekend, we'll see some chances of rain during that period as well. We've had a lot of rain as of late. Rainfall amounts this go around this week, they do look to be pretty light, fortunately. So minimal flooding impacts are expected, over the course of the next week or so. Now, I did want to talk a little more in detail about the severe thunderstorm threat for today. The Storm Prediction Center has a marginal risk, really for the northeastern corner of the state. And like I said, mainly east of I-95 is where the greatest threat area is for strong, potentially severe thunderstorms to develop later this afternoon. There could be a few isolated rumbles of thunder around the Triangle and down toward Fayetteville. The Triad, perhaps not so much. It looks like that trough is going to move through there before the showers really have an opportunity to get too strong. That being said, even if you're not in either one of these green areas on the map, you should see some gusty winds, potentially between 35 and 40 miles an hour when these showers move through. So just something to be aware of. At least here in the Triangle area, we've seen wind speeds start to increase here within the last hour or so, suggesting that change is on the way. So don't be surprised in the least if you see some gusty winds when those showers move through later today. I did want to spend a minute or so on this. This is just a real quick model simulation of what the radar could look like later today. Now, this is just a simulation. The exact placement, timing, things like that, they're always subject to change, and things could look a little bit different in reality. But I wanted to at least show here that, by noon or so today, we should start to see some showers moving into the Triad, just west of there. By the time we get to about 2 o'clock or so, that line of showers should intensify a little bit and pretty much be approaching the Triangle by about 2 o'clock. When you look at the 4 o'clock forecast, that line of showers should pretty much be east of I-95 already. So you can tell this is going to be moving through at a pretty good pace. And certainly by 6 o'clock and even 8 o'clock or so, any lingering shower activity will be mainly out near the coast, well east of I-95 at that point. So again, take these simulations with a grain of salt. at least in terms of their exact placement and timing and such. But we are expecting this trough to move through, showers, isolated thunderstorms to develop, and fortunately get out of here pretty quickly. We've had a lot of rain as of late, and the last thing we really need is a slow-moving batch of showers and thunderstorms to dump inches and inches of rain across the area. Fortunately, we're not going to see that. On the topic of rainfall, we probably are looking at 1/4 to 1/2 of an inch of rainfall today. And you can see on the today map there, we have some shades of green and dark green. That's generally 1/4 to 1/2 an inch. Like I said, the fact that these showers are moving at a pretty good pace, that's a good thing. Showers don't have the opportunity to sit over the same area for a long period of time. So our rainfall total shouldn't be that high. Tuesday, Wednesday, completely dry. Same story with Thursday. By the time we get into Friday and this weekend, we'll be looking at another round of late week rain, 1/2 an inch, perhaps even up to 3/4 of an inch or so. When you look at the sum total over the next 7 days, you'll see a lot of blue on that map, and that would suggest maybe an inch or so of rain. That's a lot of rain, I suppose, if we had been dry. But compared to what we have seen over the last week, that this is far less than what we have seen over the last week or so. So it'll add up to about an inch, maybe 1.25 inches in some areas. But fortunately, nothing as bad as what we have seen here as of late. And speaking of flooding, given that fast-moving nature of the trough moving through today, we're not expecting any sort of flood threat with that as that moves through. And then, of course, Tuesday, Wednesday, sunny and dry. Couldn't ask for a better forecast if you're looking to dry things out a little bit. With all that rain that we had over the past couple of days, we still have some river points that we're dealing with some ongoing flooding, specifically the Neuse River at Goldsboro, Tar River at Tarboro, and 2 points along the Roanoke River. Yeah, it's going to be a while before some of this water has an opportunity to fully drain out. The Neuse and the Tar River, those points are probably going to be in flood through the rest of the week, if not, until Saturday or so. So it'll be a little while before these points have an opportunity to get back below flood stage. The Neuse River at Smithfield could see another late week rise, depending on how much rain we get. But it doesn't look like any sort of flooding that we would have would be anywhere near as bad as what we had recently. So everything is on the downturn, so that's certainly a good sign. Last thing I will talk about forecast-wise, the 8 to 14-day outlook, courtesy of CPC. If you're a fan of warmer temperatures, the odds are stacked in your favor with a decent forecast of above normal temperatures by the time we get to next week. On the flip side, though, it looks like we could be in a somewhat wetter pattern by then. The best odds are up, in the Appalachians and perhaps parts of the Ohio Valley and Tennessee Valley up that way. Yeah, we're kind of right on the edge there, but, we shall see. It's a safer bet that we'll have above normal temperatures, and we'll see how the rainfall forecast ends up playing out. So, in summary, we have a weak trough moving through today. We should see showers developing almost imminently at this point, and certainly through this afternoon. They should be getting out of here by this evening, though. We will see a chance of thunder, and that elevated chance of thunder is going to be mainly east of US 1, with a marginal risk of severe weather even farther to the east across I-95. We could see some fog develop across the area tonight once that trough gets out of here, but boy, it will be much nicer by the time we get to the middle part of the week. Tuesday through Thursday, sunny, dry, temps in the mid-60s, maybe even approaching 70 in some spots by Wednesday, and certainly across the Sandhills and southern coastal plain. Those folks, you'll see a good chance of getting close to 70 down there. We will see some rain move back into the area by the time we get to the weekend. That being said, rainfall amounts over the course of the entire week look to be light, and our flood threat, thankfully, doesn't look to be too big of a deal at all.